Hello and welcome back to another video where we will be hopefully helping you sleep while I play some blueprints. So we are going to just pick up right where we left off last time. I'm going to keep on exploring this little mansion and hopefully this helps y'all sleep. Starting out with the nook right in front of me. I would love to use that den quite literally anywhere else, but I guess that works out well enough. At some point, I would love to just answer questions if there are any. If you want to do any type of AMA in the comments when you're conscious to do so, and then maybe next time I can answer some questions as I game. So I'm kind of not doing a great job right now, I think. Kind of worried overall about what this particular room is gonna look like, this mansion today. Got a little money for now. We have a shop over here. I have diamonds. I think I'm gonna head back towards the front, try to connect these rooms together. We have a guest bedroom and a spare room. I'll go ahead and do the guest bedroom, get a couple extra steps in now. And then what my hope will be is that this is not a dead end ahead, because I've created a situation where I need it to be a straightforward room. Like the courtyard, like exactly like the courtyard. So I get a shovel today. This will be a helpful item if we can find plenty of spaces to dig at. Got a turnip, so extra movement. And in this one we have another key. Hoping for something that turns left. We have the bedroom. It's wanted to give me that before. Now I've just realized, before I get too deep into this mansion, I'm gonna head outside. What I'm gonna do is go check my side room, the west path. We're gonna see what we can get, see if we get anything good. Looks like we've got a shelter, a trading post, as well as a shrine. I don't have a lot of money. Trading post could be really helpful, but also the shelter could be as well. I'm going to go ahead and pick the trading post for now. This has something we can dig into, so I have yet another key. There's dynamite here, as well as one of these puzzle boxes. I feel like this is one that travels upwards, so the goal is to get yellow in each one of the four corners. So I'm going to start by hopefully being able to rotate these in place, and easy puzzle box. Now I have an allowance token, which means that every day starting out I get 2 coins, which is actually kind of cool. I think that'll be really helpful. Trading post right now. I do have the moon pendant and my coin purse from last time. If I want to trade out the moon pendant, I can get a silver key. My coin purse will give me the car keys, so I will remember that for later on. I don't want to necessarily switch anything out now. Much rather hold on to both of these. So the moon pendant is interesting. It was meant to let me keep 2 items from my last run, right? However, it kept itself. So that means tomorrow I should theoretically have 2 items still from today. So I'm kind of breaking the rules a little bit of the house by keeping so many items, but I'm not terribly mad about that. I think I may choose the closet just to get rid of this dead end. I have a singular dice that I've picked up. That'll help me. So now we can head through here. try heading north. We have security, which locks me out of everything from the house. I'll use my 1 redraw, and I have a spare room. I'll save the corridor for later. Definitely don't want to use that yet. I think overall goal for today is going to be trying to get through as much of the mansion as possible. We have a terrace, which means that green rooms will no longer cost diamonds to draft. That could be obscenely beneficial as we move forward. I'm going to go ahead and choose that. It's a really pretty area here. Looks out at that. And I don't think there's any way to actually get to that statue, which is very sad. I would love to walk up to that. Or maybe there is. Maybe there is, in fact, a way to get there and I haven't discovered it yet. Hoping for a door that goes to the right. We have a hallway. We have another corridor. We have a drawing room. I don't want to use anything that requires gems right now, considering I only have 2. So I'll go ahead and use the hallway, even though this could be better suited elsewhere. Definitely kind of striking out right now. I'm glad I saved my gems. The observatory will be much better here. So we can check this. I have another diamond that I picked up. Very nice. Very beneficial. Here we have the opportunity to get the chapel. I think I'll go ahead and just take that now. They'll take a little money from me. We have the gym, which will cause me to lose 2 every time I walk into it. I could use the garage. I'm going to use the gym so I can make sure I have every single room. I don't think this is that oppressive in this corner. We have a nursery here, another dead end. Whenever you draft a bedroom, gain 5 steps. I'm going to go ahead and choose that now because I have a banana. Nothing else in this room. So we go forward and we have a secret passage. We have the storeroom and the parlor. I could use, I think, maybe the storeroom over the parlor, because then I have a little extra money. Oh, there's running shoes in here. That's so helpful. The running shoes, I lose less steps when traveling longer distances across the estate and the grounds. So as I move through these rooms, I may not lose my steps, which is very helpful. I have 5 keys. I want to make sure I use those up. We have the dark room, which means that I won't get to see what I'm drafting on the other side. The parlor will not take me anywhere I need to go. Looks like the dark room is really the only option I have right now. So I'm going to have to hope that I don't get locked out. Either one of these could be quite literally anything, so I'm going to take a gamble. This is the second sleep video that I'm doing. I'm going to choose the second space. And we got a complete dead end of the lavatory. I maybe should have not chosen the trading post. Maybe that's where I went wrong. We didn't get that far, but that's okay. I'm going to call it a day because I physically can't do anything else. And we'll start anew tomorrow. The moon pendant theoretically will give me 2 items from yesterday's run, today's run, day 5. So we'll see what tomorrow brings us. I hope right about now, I hope you're feeling relaxed. Hope you're feeling serene, ready to sleep. Have some good dreams about walking through a peaceful mansion, exploring new rooms, seeing new sights, exploring worlds you've never thought of before. So today we have some money in our allowance, and we have a note from Anne Babbage. Master Simon, she says, "Good morning. It has come to my attention you have been granted a daily allowance to use while on the estate. If it is convenient for you, I will leave the required sum here in the entrance hall each morning. If there is anything else you require, please do not hesitate to ask. Even though we have all been requested to remove ourselves from the premises during your stay, I can assure you I am still personally overseeing that the estate is at least operating at a baseline standard of service that I hope you will one day come to expect of us. Anne Babbage, House Manager. So I'm going to start on the left and grab myself a den. We'll turn around and open this door and grab myself a courtyard. And going forward, we have a much better configuration today. I'm going to initially get the bedroom off of my roster so I don't have to worry about any of these dead-end rooms. I want to get rid of as many of those as possible. Sneaking into the den, we grab up our gem. Use the parlor to head right. And we have our first logic puzzle for today. Black box says, this box contains gems. White box says the other two boxes contain gems. We know that to be a lie. All three boxes contain gems, so we know that's also a lie. This is a fairly easy logic puzzle, so I'm going to say that the black box is the one that indeed does have the gems in it. It indeed was. So going north, we have a patio, which will spread diamonds and green rooms. I only have the courtyard. I don't feel like doing that yet, so I'll choose the pantry so I have a little extra money on my person. Pick up an apple, and we can maybe head to the left using the observatory. Check what the stars have in store for us today. Looks like I have the Southern Cross, so rooms with 4 doors are more common today. That could be helpful to make sure that I don't get trapped anywhere. Although sometimes that costs gems to achieve. We have the cloister, which will require all 3 gems. And I wish that that was not the case. However, this could be a really beneficial location to have the cloister. I'm going to sacrifice every one of my gems to pick this up. The moon pendant gave me the coin purse and the shovel as my item, so I can dig this up. All I get are pebbles. I found another allowance token, which is why I wanted this room. Couldn't remember if I had found it. We find a note that says, Mr. Nogula, if you are reading this, it seems the day has finally come and the cloister is at long last getting some much overdue maintenance. I have left you a literal token of appreciation to serve as positive reinforcement, which should grant you a bit of extra money each day while working on the estate. We have learned from our dealings with your predecessor that it is much cheaper in the long run to be generous. Miss Babbage. That sounded like shade to me. So checking this room on the left. Looks like we have a couple of decent options. The chapel, I would love to be on this side of the mansion. And I think I might, if I'm very lucky, I might get the garage right here. I did, but it requires a gem, and I forgot that it needs a gem. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the closet. I couldn't remember if it required gems or not. I found a key card. That will be insanely helpful. I may go back. Let's go to the front of the house and try to get to the side room. I want to know what that will be and see if that can help me in any way. I'm not necessarily doing bad right now, but not having any gems does have me concerned a smidge. I don't want to proceed too much farther up into the house without any type of hope that I may you know, get locked out. So we have a tomb, a shelter, and a tool shed. There is a secret down here in the tomb I may go ahead and take care of now. I'll just need to rifle through my notes so that I can find this. There's something for anyone that cares. There's a code that you can find in the chapel, and that corresponds to things you're supposed to pull. So there are some statues here that we definitely want to interact with in order to open up something along the side. So the first thing I need to look for is one of the statues that has a hoe in its hand. I believe that one is here. So I pull this first because that's the correct mosaic that's in the chapel. Number 2, I'm looking for one that has a paddle, which would be you. The third one I'm looking for has a pitchfork, which I just saw here. The fourth one I'm looking for is a chimney sweep. I believe that's you. Oh no, that's a broom. Which one is the chimney sweep? Oh, that's you. The next statue we're looking for is the broom, which is you. The next one is a fire poker, but allegedly it's a horsewhip. And then the last one is the staff. And that opens up this door, which goes deeper into the tomb. We'll take care of that in a moment. We have a note here that says, each of our journeys come to a conclusion here in the tomb. The floor plan is a definitive dead end. Or is it? Because it was marked in red, that means it's a lie. Although handwritten sometimes are not lies. Over in this corner, we have some more items I believe I can take. Open only in the event of my death. Simon. So here's where it all ends, at least for me. In all of the picturesque places of this grand estate, I chose this dreary, dark dungeon to be laid to rest. That same dim, somber fate fell upon my father, and his father before him, who loved the outdoors even more than myself. They say there is no stronger bond of servitude than tradition. Family tradition? Thrice as strong. These are chains that seldom bend and never break, and I do wonder what plans and prospects of yours will be sacrificed upon the family font of convention. What biography of your own will you forsake to add another page to your father's memories, or your mother's, or mine? In our youth we are gifted with dreams and ambitions. At our death we are left with realities and regrets. I think there is no greater sin than to perpetuate tradition that stagnates growth, that strangles purpose, that suffocates dreams. What point is there to live another life at the sake of our own? Oh, how I wish to have been buried underneath the great oak, overlooking the plains, the wondrous woods, and the worldly mountains, and the wild holly that surrounds the trunk. A perpetual token of sympathy laid across my grave. What dreadful tradition is that dumped me in this sunless hollow? And if by morbid example, this dark crypt makes any impression whatsoever, if reading this letter within these damp halls plants in you a seed of hope, if these words might grant you strength to bend, if not break these chains, then would I cherish this tomb more than oak, and sycamore and spruce, more than the wondrous woods and the worldly mountains. This cold stone room would become the most cherished place in all our domain. I would have you raise a shrine upon this spot to commemorate the moment of your liberty, to tread this sepulchre's hallowed ground, to realize that grand gestures can be as effective as they are theatric, and to, in turn, as recompense for the freedom this granted you, commit yourself to be buried here within this mausoleum of dreams, and when the day comes to write your own letter, to inspire the next generation that follows in our footsteps. As is tradition, Herbert S. Sinclair. Lovely note from Mr. Sinclair. There is something back here that if I create the right item I can get into. So I will attempt to try and build that at some point this run if I'm able to. We're looking for a workshop. So let's go ahead and head deeper into the tomb. This will take us to the underground, where there's a giant arrow pointing towards a door. But before that, we'll head to the Grim Reaper. We find a piece of the underground map. We pull its scythe down, revealing a secret passageway. Now from here, we can head deeper into the underground, into the abandoned mine. We read about this abandoned mine last time. In this room, we can light more candles if we find the right items. We find an upgrade disc, which hopefully I can find security at some point today. Another piece of the underground map, where it says something about Gel Point's dreams. Maybe Angel. We head deeper into the abandoned mine, where we find the reservoir. We can't get onto the boat, even though that wouldn't be that difficult of a swim. And this way, we head deeper in, hang a right, and we find a minecart, which we could use this now, pull it forward, make things a little easier for ourselves. We find a secret room with gears. What could this room be? Maybe we'll get to discover that later. For now, I will pull the minecart backwards. There's no need to worry about that now. We won't be able to do much with it at this time. We release and head back up. So our goal is to try and find the correct items to be able to light these candles down here. So we need not only to find a workshop, but also to find a battery and a magnifying glass. We do not have a commissary this time, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. And I'll head inside and swing to the right. I think from here, we do have our shovel still. We have some coins in that dig spot, and in this one we have an old shoe which we can't use at all. To the far right, we have a planetarium. If you call it a day in the planetarium, we gain 2 stars. We could call it a day here later on. I could make a mental note of this. We'll see if this gives me any items. I can't quite remember. No, there are no items in this room. Now we head north. And we have security, which is the exact room I needed. However, I do not have a diamond, which is a disappointment because we either get the archives, which will completely mess the entire run up, or I choose the weight room and lose half of my steps. I think my only option now is to lose half of my steps. The archive room will completely sabotage this run. And if I need to call it a day, I can always go back. There's a lever in this room. That could be helpful. Going to the right, we have the commissary and the dining room. We have a storeroom, which maybe I'll grab now. Keep another dead end, but it will give me 1 diamond. Heading back into the weight room, this cursed room, we head north in hopes of being able to find literally anything other than the Great Hall. This is a travesty that we have encountered right now. So I'll head north and use my key here. I'm gonna need a lot of keys to get through this room. We have the nook in the hallway. I think I'll go ahead and use the hallway. Keep myself at least semi-safe. Heading to the right, we need to use our last key that we have on our person. And I have the gymnasium, the library, or the bedroom. The gymnasium won't cut us off. Even though this is another problematic room, I don't think I'm going to find the items I need. We have a walk-in closet, which I could risk using my 1 diamond. Potentially, there will be more diamonds in here. There could potentially be items. Looks like we found a compass. Fate is a cruel, cruel person, I think. We have car keys, but I don't have the garage. I think everything got messed up when I used my diamond incorrectly. I do have a key card here, so I could use that. We have a dining room and a drawing room. I'll go ahead and use the dining room now. Best case scenario, if I keep heading north, I can unlock rank 8 and be able to get into that room. I have 1 last key. We have security. Thank God. I will take advantage of this now. And since I have a security card, I'm going to make security doors show up more frequently. So I'm going to bring security level to high. Since we do have that, I would much rather use security card to open doors than keys. I'll use my upgrade disc and hope that I get something good today. I have the Nook. The Nook data has been found on this upgrade disc. You will now have the chance to permanently enhance this room to one of 3 different upgraded floor plans. We have 2 keys, a key plus bacon and eggs, or a key and you will always draw a library while drafting in this room. That could be great for lore purposes. And I always know that if I draw that reading nook, I will get the library afterwards. For immersion purposes and for storytelling purposes, I think it would be nice to have that. So I'm going to choose this upgrade. So now we head north again. We have the reading nook, the boiler room, which I can't get, or a furnace. I think I'll choose that reading nook because it will give me an extra key, and I know that I'll get the library while drafting here. Thankfully I have that key that I needed. The library heads north, which is exactly what I need. However, I am now out of keys, so if this requires one, I have no way to get through. From the library, I can request a book if I wanted to. I don't particularly need any of these books for right now, so I won't go ahead and check any of them out yet. Going north, thankfully I have no need for a key. I can get the aquarium, which will give me every color of room. I'm going to choose that. That uses my last gem. But thankfully, I now have food in the dining room, so I have more steps. We'll go ahead and head north and just see what presents here. We have the billiard room, or the commissary. The billiard room won't lock me out, so I'm going to choose that. And I'll grab my... Do I want to get my diamonds first? Maybe I'll go get my food first. That seems the better option right now. We have a salmon on the menu today. Or is that a trout? It's a salmon. Lemon glazed salmon. Charbroiled Cajun spiced salmon. Lemon butter sauce served over spinach leaf. And we have the aquarium, so we'll get an extra 10 steps. That was fortuitous, I think. Heading back this way. We will head, I think, north. And check out the billiard room. I do not want to interact with this game. This room requires math, which I have no interest in. I need a key to get in there. So I am trapped at the moment. That one also requires a key. What's up, fish? So now I guess I can head back. Maybe into security, which could lead me forward. That also requires a key. I'm locked out of a lot of the house right now. Maybe the dining room. This doesn't require a key. We have the office or the spare room. We also have the archives, which will impair this run, and I don't quite want that. While drafting, you will no longer be able to see all 3 plans of your potential floor plans. This could very much hurt me. And I don't recall if anything is helpful in the archives to justify this decision. So I'm gonna be selfish and choose the spare room. In this room, we have the corridor, which the end will always be unlocked. That could help me get back to the cloister and potentially connect these hallways together. We have nothing I can use. And I'm locked off. Maybe I shouldn't have been so selfish earlier. We have the coat check here, which I could check something if I wanted to, and then retrieve it another day. Can't quite recall if there was anything that I left in coat check. The tough part about this is then my only other option becomes going back to the front of the house and trying to get through the cloister, which I don't necessarily want to do. I'll do coat check for now. I think I have very few options. Do I have anything in storage right now? Did it keep anything? There is no item that I've saved here. I feel like I rarely see levers, so I could hold on to that here. I'll wait. We'll see what happens if I go back to the front of the house. We have to go through this way. Correct. Down. I may run out of steps before we even get to where we need to go. Could call it a day here. I don't think I'll make it to the cloister in time. I may just call it a day in the planetarium. I may have been a little too ambitious today. So now, some things are a little beneficial for me. I get 2 stars tomorrow. Despite me having a horrendous run, I at least got an upgrade disc at security. We'll save and continue and cut our losses here. And hope that tomorrow is better, because that was a little bit cheeks, I will say. Starting out day 7, I've officially been here for a week. Although it feels a lot shorter than that, doesn't it? The last 2 days have been a little bit of a bust. So we'll go and check the side room first. The west path. What I'll do is hope that I get the shelter. I have a root cellar. Rooms in your house will be more likely to contain dig spots. The hovel, which instead of using diamonds, we will get to use our steps, or a tool shed, which will have 2 items in them. I would rather take the tool shed. Go ahead and grab 2 items now. I start with a lockpick kit, and it looks like I also have the sledgehammer, which could come in handy if I find chests throughout the house. Anytime you have the sledgehammer, you can open up any of the small chests with that instead. With the lockpick kit, I potentially also could circumvent needing to use a key. I now have a couple coins here from my allowance token. So we'll start with the door on the left first. We have the hallway or the reading nook. I'll guarantee to get the library. I'll go ahead and pull this now, since I know I'm going to get it. The library swings to the left. We'll start on this side. I have a coupon book. So now we'll save 1 coin on each purchase that we make in the estate if we find any other rooms. We have the vault. We have commissary. The commissary will swing me to the left, and there will be some items for sale. I could just look and see what's here. We have a magnifying glass, which is cheaper. We have a shovel. I may get nothing now, and I'll wait and come back. We have the closet here. I'm going to use that dead end room now. I immediately find a very helpful item for a metal detector that will find me keys and coins and 1 dice. So I think this particular run may yield more cash. That's what we're going to hope for, at least. Be nice if this turned on. So now we'll head north. We cannot lock ourselves out too much from the rest of the manor because the left side of the house is 1 loop. So we'll start with the den, which will give me an extra gem. Heading north, we have a courtyard, which won't give me anything in particular, except for more exploration through the manor, which I do want. And I find a shovel, which, good thing I didn't buy one. Dig up the spots in here. I find a rock, which doesn't help me, as well as a coin, and there's 1 coin on the ground. Heading farther north, we have a hallway or a storeroom. Hallway I'm going to use now, and heading left, we have the bedroom, the parlor, and the kitchen. I may use my 1 die now, redraw, and hope I don't get a bust. We have the chapel, and we have the pool. It'll add a locker room, a sauna, and a pump room into the draft pool. We also could do the chapel. I only have 1 gem. I don't want to use that yet. I will risk the chapel and them stealing my money that I did not work hard for at all. There's something in here. Money on the ground. Heading more towards the west, we have another pantry, which will give us some coins that the church will undoubtedly steal from us when I have to head backwards. My hope is that this will be the garage. It was. There's more coins in here, I think. We have multiple keys in this room, which I'll snag up now. On this side, do we have any items or anything? Nothing for now. There's a note that says, Christoph, this is the 3rd time this month you and the car have been gone. when your services were required. I don't care how long you have been driving for his lordship. Your absence must be accounted for. Miss Babbage doesn't play games. I do not have any items that will unlock this chest here that requires car keys. So we will head back through the chapel, which thefts from us again. The only reason I'll need to come back is if I find car keys. I may keep heading north. There's something on the ground around here that I missed. I don't know where I'm missing it. I'm near it. I see nothing to indicate there's anything on the ground, though. What was that? What was that? There was a hand that was there. Actually, I have no idea what that is. Oh, it was behind the vase. So we'll head north. And we have the bedroom, as well as a nursery. I think the bedroom would be my better option right now. Won't lock me off too much from other parts of the house. We have car keys. I didn't need to go back towards the garage, but now I could. Cannot pick this lock. We need something with multiple rooms. That would be the drawing room, but I don't have any diamonds. That's the one I really needed. So the mail room, a package will be dropped off on the entrance steps the day after drafting this room. That may be my only option. Contactless delivery ordered for tomorrow. I may head back and use my car keys at the car now. Get thefted from one more time. In the back of the car, we have a key card and a magnifying glass. Those are helpful. I do appreciate that I found those. I just wish that I had some money and maybe some gems. I'm gonna head back to the front of the house now. I've spent a lot of time going north. I don't want to spend any more time going that way. I want to choose to go to the east now, where we have the parlor, which will give me gems if I solve the puzzle correctly. We have the black box that says the gems are in a box with a false statement. The white box says 2 statements are false. That could be true. And the blue box says all 3 statements are false. We know that's false. The white box says 2 statements are false. And the black box says the gems are in a box with a false statement. This could be true. And that could be true. If we are to believe this is fact, that this is true, and this is true, which is what my gut is telling me, then the blue box today would have the gems. And it doesn't. Bummer. That's fine. It was probably the black box. So we have here, our only options that we have are a corridor, which the door will always be unlocked at the end, or I could get a storeroom and guarantee that I'll get a gem. But then a lot of this house is locked off, and I have to go back through to the hallway. I think the risk of not having diamonds is weighing heavily on me right now, troubling my spirit a bit. So I guess I'll head forward, and we can head to the right. Thankfully, we have our lockpick, we have a boudoir, and a walk-in closet. Things are not looking great for this run. I will get some dice, which would have been nice for earlier in the game. We pick these up now. Head north, which is also locked. We have a corridor, which will yield an unlocked door at the end. We could also choose to go to the kitchen. I could redraw this one time. Gives me the billiard room. I can choose this. It's low risk. Doesn't cost anything. From here, we are now locked out of the right side of where I need to go, unless I use my last redraw. And that creates the East Wing Hall, which is incredibly helpful. I will choose that. In this room, we have the spare room, which I'll use that finally now. There is money in here. Through this room, we have the patio or the walk-in. This will give me 4 items. I'm locked off from this side of the house anyway. I have no lofty goals this time. We have some gems as well as a telescope. So now we head north again towards a much of unexplored mansion. We cannot lockpick this, but we have 4 keys. Unlocking this, we have a veranda which costs 2 gems, which I just got. Or I could use the corridor, which has an unlocked door at the end of it. I've been avoiding using that for a while, so it's finally time. We have security now, which we could use. I have the gem to do that. And ahead we have a security door. I'm going to do the same thing I did previous. There's a salt shaker I missed somewhere in the mansion. I wonder where I didn't find that. We will set security doors to high because I did find a card. We'll head north using our security card. And we have a greenhouse. You're more likely to draw green rooms while drafting. That uses my last gem. But more green rooms is helpful. There's also the laboratory. I don't want to draw red rooms, so I will choose to hopefully find more green rooms. There are sometimes gems in this room here. Instead I find coins. Nothing of interest. And a singular watering can, which I can use to generate a gem. So if I head backwards, I can generate that gem now. That helps me. Heading towards the west, we have the cloister or the gymnasium. Cloister I cannot afford right now, so we'll need to use the gymnasium so I'm not completely locked out. This does take a lot of my steps. So we'll head north using our key card. We have an aquarium which requires a gem. We have planetarium, which would give us stars. Could also do the observatory. I think I'll run the risk of using the aquarium for now. I know we have this. That gives us 6 steps. We'll head north, where we cannot pick that lock again. We have the pool. We have a study. We have an observatory. I can only choose the study. While drafting, you may spend gems to redraw floor plans up to 8 times. Well then. There is a secret in this room, I believe. A code of some kind that's on this, which I've never quite figured out. It's a chessboard, and this chessboard has something to do with the code, which I have racked my brain around this so many times. There are numbers 1 through 8, and there are letters A through H, with it landing on D8. D8, so date. Date is the clue. It's gotta be. D8, date. But whose date? Unless the code is just 8. That can't be right. Whose date is the question? What date is the other question? There's something here. There's a note. Don't know if it's possible with so little time left, but I need to remember to ask Anne if we can commission new artwork for all rooms of the house. We need them produced in sets of 2, a pair for each room. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm thinking. I'm likely delusional to think this can be pulled off by Thursday. Thursday is the 4th day of the week. There's nothing on these that indicate any kind of date. Unless it's D is the 4th letter of the alphabet, 8. So 0408. That doesn't seem right. Could be 0804. And this code, if I'm not terribly mistaken, after I went through the long and arduous task of trying to figure it out, it reads, if we count small gates, 8 dates, crack 8 safes. And then it says D8. Small gates? Unless I spelled something wrong. The only thing I can think of, because I've done so many codes on this, everything apparently is in here. Everything you need to know is in this room to open that particular code. It's a king piece on the... Oh, it could be on a different position. 8-4. Maybe that has something to do with it. I may need to brainstorm this a bit more, and I could entirely be overthinking what date is or what small gates means. Because the other option would be small baits, small dates, 8 dates, crack 8 safes. If we count small fates, small crates. It's also possible that it's crates. Nope, not crates. There's no R in that. If we count small gates, 8 dates, crack 8 safes. I see nothing in here that could potentially help me with this. Unless there's something on this globe that will give me information. It does say by Thursday. Thursday is the 5th day of the week. I think when all of this started would have been sometime in November. So I wrote down somewhere in my notes about the day of the week that it was. On day 21, it was November 27th. So it's possible that it's sometime in early November, possibly November 6th, 11:06, or 11:05. I'm going to try some of the earlier days in November and see if that changes anything. Which none of these seem to be doing. 11:02 is not working, and 11:01 is not working. So I'm kind of stumped. Everyone that I've talked to has said everything you need to solve the puzzle is in this room, that nothing else should confound you. It could be 8844, and that's possible. I feel like that sort of defies a lot of the rules that I've seen around the mansion about basically anything with these codes. They all seem to be actual dates. My clue here, if we count small gates, 8 dates, crack 8 safes, could also be small dates, but then 8 dates, crack 8 safes also doesn't make any sense. Eventually I'll come back to this room less confounded by whatever the puzzle is that is on that chessboard. I found another gem. We should have a meal in here, giving us more steps. We have a porterhouse steak, a delightfully expensive steak cut bone-in and extra marbled for maximum tenderness. A perfect dish for those who love extravagance. We don't have a showroom, but I do want the extra steps now, so we'll eat. And we can head south. From this room, we have the dark room, which will severely impede my run. We also have the observatory. I think my best option would be the observatory. Use my one singular gem. I should have an extra star now. We found an extra key and a second key. With the telescope, I get 2 uses out of this. So now we can head north again. We have a lavatory, a locksmith, or a passageway. And I have no gems to reset anything, so here day 7 ends. Did I keep anything here that would have helped me? Calling it quits in any particular room? I don't think so. I think I may have been too ambitious with this run as well. I'll spend a little more time in this room conceptualizing what this could mean. With a king on d8, back to this puzzle again. What does it mean that everything to solve this puzzle is in this room. The study. Face, ace, lace, beard, bard. All the rooms of the house. There are no paintings, there are no portraits. This can't mean anything. This globe doesn't help very much. 44 letters in the message to try and unlock this. I mean, that leads me back to 44, 88, because D being at the 4th position of the alphabet. I guess it depends on where you look, because that could be 8-5. But that doesn't make much sense, does it? And this blueprint doesn't have any info on it either. Not that I can see, at least. Seems to be pointing... That looks like a kitchen. That is certainly the dining room. Although, that could be the office. Yeah, I'll have to come back to this room. Maybe I'll ask for another clue from someone who knows what they're doing. So we'll call it another day. And that brings us to day 8. We'll definitely start out by checking the west path and seeing what treasures lie for us there today. My hope is that we will maybe get a room like the shelter to protect us from the bad effects of red rooms. Because then I don't need to worry if I find the archive room, and I certainly don't have to worry if I find the weight room. So we'll start by opening this and see what we have in here. We have a schoolhouse. We have a tomb. I'll go ahead and open the tomb now, but I won't go down there yet because I don't have any of the items that I need to activate anything down there. We have a slew of items that we need to try and find today. So let's crack at it. I'm going to change up my plan of attack and start by going right. We have a reading nook, which I know for certain I'll get a library. From the north, we have a hallway. Could also get a kitchen. We'll find out what food is available. I'll use the corridor now, even though it seems like a bust to use that early. And then to the left we have a courtyard, or the bedroom. I'm going to use 1 gem. Try not to use any more. We find a sledgehammer on the ground. Don't have a shovel today, I must remember. And at the end, we have the parlor, where we can do another parlor game. And it did give us a coin purse. Here we have our clue on blue box. This is the black box, which is obviously a lie. The white box says, this is the black box, which is also a lie. And the black box says, the black box is not empty. We know that to be true because the others are very clear and obvious bamboozlements. We now have 2 gems. Heading north, we have the chapel or the West Wing Hall. I have no money today, so I will choose the chapel. And we continue to head north to find security, which could be helpful. I'll go ahead now, since I don't have a key card yet. I will turn security doors low today, so only 2 will spawn. And I'll change the settings so that if the power goes out, they'll be unlocked. And maybe if I'm very lucky, I'll find a breaker box in this room here, because I imagine the room to the north will give me the garage. I can do a closet here, or the pantry. Let's do the pantry first. I'm guessing this will be the garage, as it typically is. And now we have a few extra keys. No extra items. Heading in here, we have an apple and some coins. And going north, we have a workshop. It's possible that this could be the run where I get the items I need. I find a lever. I could have used a battery pack more than anything. And going north, we have a locked door. Go and use our key for now. We have an observatory or a bedroom. The bedroom will give us extra steps. The observatory could give us something helpful. I'll choose that for now. In my looking glass, I have a 4-way room, potentially a diamond. That at least panned out. I've been making a lot of gambles this run, and I need to be a little more careful. Need to be much more careful. This room produces a closet or a dining room. I'll choose the closet. It's asked me to pick this up a few times now. We have a diamond and a rabbit's foot. Greater chance of finding items. This could be the one that finally gives me the items to light the torches downstairs. Heading back through security into the chapel. We'll turn to the left, and this room could be quite literally anything. We can choose the spare room because I do not want to lose half of my steps now, and I don't have enough for the cloister. It's a little bit of a bust. I was hoping it would be better. So heading back towards the front of the mansion, we'll head straight forward into the library from the reading nook. And this will produce a library, but it doesn't lead me to anything. Is there anything helpful in here? It doesn't initially look like it. I don't want to waste a step by going in. We have to hope that this will produce something somewhat helpful. We have the den, which is semi-helpful. We have a gem. I'm supposed to have a higher chance of finding items. If I'm lucky, this will be the cloister now, which was not. We have the weight room, which will lose half of our steps. The great hall, which we will lose multiple keys. Or the passageway, which I will immediately lose gems. The great hall, I know I can at least guarantee with some certainty that the north door will always only open north. So I choose this. We will unlock this door, and we find a bedroom, which will gain us 2 steps. And it also produces 1 singular key. From this room, it wants me to have that weight room so badly. We'll choose the passageway even though it drains us of our gems. And it is quite a gamble. Here we have the dark room, or the furnace, or a locksmith. These are all terrible. These are all quite literally terrible. I'll start by choosing this room first. It is just the worst of luck today. I'll get the archive room. And it wants that weight room badly. Instead of going through the dark room, I'll choose from this side. It's an archive floor plan. That's the first one. I don't want to draw more red rooms, so I will choose the archived. And it is a terrace, which means that green rooms don't cost anything to draft anymore. That could be helpful. I may, instead of going this way, I'm going to choose to go north in hopes that I'll get a cloister that will show up here. We're going to fingers crossed that I get a cloister. And that won't cost anything. It's exactly what I wanted. So now, we get to avoid that dark room at pretty much all costs for now. We found a map that shows there's treasure here. So I'll see if I can find that room at some point, but I will absolutely need to find a shovel. Nothing in this room. Heading downwards, south, we find a boudoir, or there's an archive floor plan. I'll choose the archived in hopes that it will lead me towards the east. A dead end. That's fine. We need to find items. So we'll head north through the cloister. This lucky rabbit's foot is not proving too lucky, I fear. We'll head to the east because that north door requires a key card. This is where the map is, but I don't have a shovel. So that's a bummer. We have an archived room which costs us a gem, or the dining room. I am going to choose the dining room. That's the one I want more than anything. In this room, we find no items, but we will get more steps soon, provided that this room helps me out. We have a planetarium or a utility closet. I could immediately turn off the power to the doors and make sure that I don't have to worry about those anymore. So let's do that. We'll head north now through our recently unlocked cheat here. We have the hallway, which I'll choose. That'll bring me north. Hopefully no keys are required. I'm sure that there will be, of course. I have no keys right now. Through this door, hopefully no keys. It of course requires one. I have no prospects. Where was my package? Wasn't I supposed to get something contactless delivery to the entrance hall from yesterday? Maybe I'll see if anything showed up and I missed it. If I'm a very lucky duck, something is up here. Contactless. Unless it did never show up. There it is. I got an amateur lockpick and 2 gems. That lockpick could come in handy. I could also take this opportunity to go back to security. And I could attempt to create more security doors. I may attempt that now. Now that I've turned off the power to those, this may be a good idea. We'll go ahead and upgrade those now. Set the security status to high. And we'll head back. I'll need to come back this way for the workshop at some point. Provided that I don't get locked off here. We head north again. And my hope is that I'll be able to lockpick quite literally any of these doors. I'm going to cross my fingers that this is the case. If I can lockpick these doors, then I'm golden. I can lockpick that one. That brings me to the gymnasium, or there's a archive floor plan. I'll choose archives. Brings me to the commissary, which has the metal detector, which I don't have enough money for. And there's a shovel, which I do have enough money for. In the cloister room, there were 3 dig spots. Maybe a turnip? Coins? A turnip. So I have a couple extra steps now. And some more coins. So if I head north through the commissary, I cannot lockpick that door. If I head north through here, maybe I can lockpick this door. I cannot lockpick that either. I am completely locked out of every option in the house. My only opportunity now would potentially be to use the treasure map in the cloister room and see if this has anything helpful in it. Time to dig. Please be a key. Please be something to help me. Where is the spot to dig? There should be something here. Did it not spawn correctly? Oh, it's in the wall. I don't know if I'll be able to even see it. Never mind, there it is. Coffers of Mount Holly. I found 25 coins and 3 gems. That seems cruel and unusual. Heading back in here, I can buy a sleeping mask or a metal detector. None of which will help me in this moment. The cruel, cruel, fickle finger of fate has boned me once again. We'll call it a day. Well, chat, we're not doing great right now. I need a much better luck day. I got a Proziac Villa. Or is it Prozac? Probably Proziac. Makes more sense to me. So I'm going to start off once again by choosing the West Room. We're on day 9. The last several days have been atrocious luck. Mind-blowingly bad luck. I just noticed that the mountain has the same shape as the family crest. I wonder if that's why they chose the family crest the way that it was. Because the mountain in front of them, or which came first, I suppose, the crest was designed and then the mountain appeared. We have the shelter, which will protect me from red rooms or the trading post. I'm going to choose the trading post. Perhaps this will come in handy later and I won't regret my decision. I have no items for now. I'll return with hopefully something to produce. And we'll now head into the house. I changed my strategy last time and met with more bad luck, so I'll keep the strategy I had previous. So we'll start by heading to the left. We have a pantry which will give us some money. To the north, we have a drafting studio which takes 2 of our gems, or a parlor, or a bedroom. we'll do the parlor. Get some gems, create a loop over there. And in this room, we have the reading nook or the office. I'll choose the reading nook, even though this is feeling like a bad idea. We'll use our wind-up key, and our black box says, the statement on one of the other two boxes would be true if you replace the word every with the word this. The white box says, every box contains gems, and the black box just said, the statement on one of the other two boxes would be true if you replace the word every with this. So, this box contains gems. Every box is black. We know this to be false. And so, if this is true, it can't be true. This has to be a false statement because it says every box contains gems. Even if I change the word, this box contains gems, it doesn't make it true. Or is this a double negative situation? This might be a double negative. We'll choose the white box today. And that yields gems. It was a double negative. Heading into the parlor, we have a courtyard and a den. I'll choose the den. That will give me a gem. That also unlocks this room, which has coins and a banana. So we head towards the west, and we have a dead end or a bedroom that leads to a dead end. And I know that the reading nook is going to connect to the library, which I think will also dead end me. So I think I may have made critical errors this run, and it will have gotten worse. I'm going to choose the boudoir because that will give me more dice. And we can go check my inevitable fate, where I do believe that the library will spawn at the end of this reading nook. And I may be locked out another day in a row, and more bad luck befalls me. We could choose the library, or I could choose the spare room. Considering that I know that the library will lock me off, I will choose the spare room for now. I could have had some great immersion again. From this room we have the hallway, which will lead into multiple spots, which I absolutely am in dire need of right now. We have a courtyard or a terrace. I don't want to choose the terrace right now, even though that would be helpful because I will lock myself out of multiple spaces. And I can't take that right now. I simply can't mentally. We have a sledgehammer but no shovel. We'll choose this room, which will yield us the chapel. I don't mind putting that in this corner because then I have very little reason to come back here. And in this last room, we can put the bunk room, which is another dead end, or we can choose the closet and get 2 items. I'll choose the closet. That gives us the shovel. I'm very glad I chose that. Going back into this room, we dig up this, which gives us a rock. And this dig spot gives us a coin. Not bad. Going north, we have a dining room. I'll activate that now, just in case we're able to make it to the 8th rank today. We have a storeroom or a corridor. The end it'll always be locked. I feel safe and comfortable doing that now that I'm in rank 5 because this is where doors will become more commonly locked. We have multiple dice. I'm going to shake those dice and we will pick security. There's a key card here. Currently, I'm going to choose to keep the security doors low for now, unless something happens. And in the event that everything goes on offline, we'll keep them unlocked. I'm going to try this door to the left, and my hope will be that I'll have a breaker box room. I only have 2 keys, so I need to be very careful. We have a rumpus room or a storeroom. Storeroom will give me a key, a diamond, and coins. Could also choose a bunk room, or I could completely redraw. I could also use the rumpus room, which will give me 8 coins. I almost said diamonds. It requires a diamond. We'll use that. I don't think I want to talk to Alzara today. He's not that interesting to me. I want my coins. And then we will continue to head west. This door is locked. This is my last key. We have the gymnasium, which I'll lose 2 steps every time I walk into it, or a drawing room, which will allow me to redraft without using my dice. I'll use that and sacrifice another gem. This will require keys, I'm sure. It didn't. We could choose the storeroom once again. I could also redraft one more time. We have the pool, which will use up my last gem that I have, but it will add a locker room, a sauna, and a pump room. We could also choose the dark room, which I don't want, and I don't want the gymnasium either. I would rather use my last gem and hope that this way is something that will be usable. The dark room or the billiard room. Let's go with the dark room. This is locked, and that's a key card room. So we're doing great right now. This room is also key card, and this one is also locked. My options are to go back towards the dining room now. I can't tell if my luck is very bad today or if I'm making bad gameplay choices. Maybe in an effort to be relaxing, I'm not thinking as hard. From the dining room, I know I can head towards the west. That's also locked though. So if I head towards this hallway here, at the end of it, it's possible we'll find something helpful. We have a sauna or a storeroom, which will give us a singular key. I could also redraw. We have a billiard room. I shouldn't have redrawn. We could make a bunk room. I should have chosen that room while I had it. I may be making very bad strategic choices today. We have to call it a day again. I've made so many bad calls today. Just can't believe it. I don't know why I'm making so many bad decisions. So we'll try one more day. That's the compulsion, right? Always one more day. Always one more. Never will stop here, but one more. Starting day 10. Hopefully day 10 is a little more lucky than days in the past have been. We'll immediately start by choosing our west room. I may have to choose the shelter. I've been sabotaged by the red rooms far too many times. I have a tomb. We'll choose the tomb. I'm going to hope that today is the day that I am able to make the item that I need to get down there and light the candles. I may not leave doors unlocked behind me this time. I may choose to just barrel forward and snake. So we have the bedroom or a spare room. I'll use the spare room first. Get it out of the pool early. At the end of this we have a pantry which I'll definitely use. Get my coins now as well as an apple. It's good. Here we have a corridor and the West Hall. I'll choose the West Hall now. May not be the best use of my resources. This may be the garage. It's a den. Even better. That gives me a gem. I'll take that gem and potentially get a garage here. Now I'll get 3 keys. And we will head east, where we have a guest bedroom or a hallway. I don't want to use all the hallways in my drafting pool now, so I'll use the guest bedroom, get rid of a dead end early. I have a compass which will start drawing floor plans that lead north more frequently. And now we can head this way and see about, maybe I do the chapel here. I have very little reason to come back to this side. So I can get it off early, and I don't even need to walk through there and lose my coins, because I can use the same amount of steps to go back through the front of the house. Going north, we have the dark room or a closet. I could choose the dark room now and head this way instead. We have a corridor. The door will always be unlocked. We have a storeroom, or I choose the kitchen. Kitchen may have been the wrong choice, but I needed to choose it for now. We have a parlor, a nook, an observatory. I'll choose the reading nook and grab my key. But now I am to the whims of the dark room. Whatever this is determines my day. It determines what happens next. We're on day 10, so I'm going to choose number 1. That leads us to a bedroom that is blocked off. I may have made some of the worst strategic decisions of my entire life this run, but hopefully, if all has gone to plan, you've fallen asleep by now and you won't have noticed that I made a mistake. So I'm going to do my last call it a day, and I will be returning once again for another sleep video and adding this to the playlist. I hope that you were able to get some sound rest, and I hope that this was able to help you get to sleep. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.